Hello Rapunzel ladies, my name is Penina Taylor and I'm coming to you on behalf of Wrapunzel, and I'm going to share with you today a topic which is very near and dear to my own heart and really I think gives a lot of understanding as to how Wrapunzel has become the community, the sisterhood that it has. I recently attended a women's conference. Now, one of the advantages of attending these conferences is what they call networking opportunities. The problem is that I seldom get clients from these networking opportunities. You see, as a speaker who primarily speaks for community organizations, the conference rarely offers me networking opportunities that are going to result in more speaking invitations. I would love to say that the networking at least helps me gain coaching clients, but since it appears that about 80%, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating, of the women there are life coaches, it really doesn't offer much of that either. But what I did gain from the networking was far more valuable than that anyway, and it has to do with something that I call the Toybox Paradigm. I believe that this is one of the most important keys to not only having success in life, but in having well-being and living a life of joy. It requires a paradigm shift in how we see others, and it takes intentional practice. But I guarantee that this one shift will change your life. Now, ever since we became self-aware as little children, we've viewed others as competition, right? If Johnny has the red truck, then I can't have the red truck. And so if I want the red truck, Johnny can't have it. Life was always a win-lose proposition, what we call a zero-sum game, and what I call the Toybox Paradigm. And so, armed with this truth, we began to see the entire world through this paradigm. If I win, someone else loses, and conversely, if someone else wins, then I must be the loser. This view of life causes us to feel discontent, jealousy, and even anger when others succeed. And the negativity in the end becomes really quite self-defeating. But life is not a toy box, and we are not in a zero-sum game. If we want to be successful and have joy in our lives, we need to stop thinking in the toy box paradigm. We have to learn to see others not as competitors, but as collaborators. And we need to stop seeing others' successes as meaning that somehow I'm either a loser or less than or not good enough. We need to begin to truly be happy and rejoice in another's success. And here's the hard part: to equally rejoice in our own success in its own right and without comparing it to others. How this relates to wrapping and to Wrapunzel and the head covering community of women. Look, just because her wrap is complex and beautiful doesn't mean that my wrap, no matter how less complex, no matter how simple or messy, is any less beautiful or makes me any less successful. Have you ever played the Chinese finger puzzle game? You know, it's a woven tube about the size of your pointer finger, and two people put their fingers into the tube, right? And then they try to pull it back out. But the more you pull, the tighter the tube gets, making it even harder to get your finger out. Now, the key, of course, is for both players to work together and push in, which seems a bit counterintuitive, but it expands the tube, and then both players can easily remove their fingers. Well, most of us spend our lives expending so much energy pushing against other people for fear that if we work together, the other person might somehow, gain some advantage against me and win. And since I see the world through this toy box paradigm, if they win, I've got to lose. And since I don't want to lose, I need to make sure that they don't win, or at least I certainly can't help them win. But in truth, the toy box paradigm often results in no winner at all, because in expending all that energy, in making sure the other doesn't win, we frequently create an environment where we can't win either. Life is not a toy box paradigm. but it is like a match. When you use a match to light a candle, what happens? Does the flame from the match jump over to the candle wick and put out the match? No, of course not. That's a silly question. Assuming the match is big enough, it not only doesn't go out by lighting the candle, it actually momentarily burns brighter. And the end result is that, in the end, we have two flames instead of one. By igniting the candle, the match has doubled the amount of light in the room. And when we can create this paradigm shift necessary to stop seeing others as competitors rather than as collaborators or partners, we often find that the combining of our wisdom, insight, and talents means that we have access to twice as much, and both of us, all of us, win. When we understand that all of the wealth in the world comes from above and is unlimited in its potential, we can realize that there is more than enough wealth or success in the world for all of us. And when we join forces with others, when we collaborate, when we partner, we don't half the amount of prosperity or light, we double it. Now, it's not easy. We've been trained to see the world through this Toybox paradigm from a very young age, and old habits are hard to break. But this is a practice we must engage in if we want to be successful and have well-being and joy in life and in our communities, including the Wrapunzel community. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I want to bless you with an inspired day.